Greetings everybody, I'm Truth Will Rise. I'm back with a brand new video. Let me cut this down because I got a lot to say, but I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. But as you know, a lot of people in our community are in a tizzy because Messy Jesse dared to tug on Superman's cape, aka Barack Obama, and say that he has failed the black community. And a lot of people, like I said, are up in arms over that. And you know, they've said some things about Jesse, and a lot of it is honestly earned, and there's a lot of truth to that. But I posted on one of my Facebook pages, and a lot of people were angry and just saying all sorts of things. And my thing was this, because someone asked me directly, and I said, you know, honestly, it depends on your perspective. And I say this for these reasons because even back in 2007, 2006, when first became aware of him through some of his campaign stuff when he was down here with Harold Ford Jr. and so on and so forth, and particularly throughout his meteoric ascension to national prominence, you know, you start doing research, as you should, not only on him but on any other candidate that you are considering thrusting your support behind. And quite honestly, I didn't see anything, one, that was terribly different from the other congressmen or things of that nature, and two, nothing specifically that was geared toward helping black people. But then again, my thing is, I don't necessarily look for politicians to quote unquote better my life. Politicians cannot really make your life better, but they damn sure can make it worse. So said, doing the research, I didn't have any expectations of him to do anything for quote unquote the black community. So from that standpoint, I wasn't let down. And I think a lot of us, we approached him, his candidacy and everything emotionally rather than looking at things clinically, rather than, you know, researching things. If you want to know how a politician will vote, you track these few things. You track who advises him, you track who finances him. If he's a congressman, you look at his voting record. You look at those three things, and invariably it will, more times than not, tell you what you will get to whatever office you're voting this person to. Doing that kind of led me to make the conclusions that I made back in 2008, and pretty much all of my predictions back then held true now. So you know, I don't have any expectations. A lot of people thought that, you know, this was going to be, in terms of getting things done, a landmark time for black people, and honestly, it hasn't been. Whether you want to admit it or not, you can blame it on the Republicans, you can blame it on Bush, or whoever, which is silly to do. But the fact of the matter, things are the way they are. It is what it is, and quite frankly, things are moving right along to schedule. Because, like I said, we have to get out of thinking that that we're this political monolith. Like, you know, and one of the things I don't understand is, like, if you're black and you speak, you know, anything less than glowingly the Democratic Party, black people, a lot of black people will say the most vile things to you. You know, whether it is, even you could be talking just regular factual based things. You know, we don't want to hear that. I don't know where we got off kilter to where we don't want to hear facts and truth that you can play to our emotions, and you can really get over a lot of us like that. Take with Bill Clinton back 93, when all of his criminal things, because that's what it was, that's what he is, okay? What did he do? He went into the black church and started jumping, getting the choir, went on Arsenio and played the saxophone, and that just placated us like a pacifier to a child. Donald Sterling, with his situation, what did he do? Same thing. But I think we have to approach these things like not emotionally, man, because at the end of the day, that's going to wear off. That's why you can't have intelligent conversations about on politics and on particularly Barack Obama in general without people getting angry. And even like with me, any criticism that I've made of him has been politically based. That's it. I talk about why I don't agree with these things, and here's why. There's no emotion. It's very clinical. It's cut and dry. But the responses that you get are these mean, nasty, and vile things, which I find it ironic that a lot of these people who say these things said some of the most disgusting things about the previous president, who I also was a very outspoken critic of. Like case in point, when he was in Iraq and the guy threw the shoe, that was, I saw all over Facebook, all over the place, people laughing, talking about how they wished it hit him and all of these things. And some people are like, that's still the president of the United States, the country you live in, and that's pretty disrespectful to just sling a shoe at me. Now, President Obama's making a speech, someone calls him a liar. Now, is it throwing a shoe? No. But the same people, what I'm saying, the same people who thought it was so funny with this shoe throwing incident were up in arms that this congressman, or I can't think of who it was, it might have been Boehner, said liar in this speech. These are the same people who would say, if you bring up anything, any number of issues, I've done videos about it, would say, well, he's not just the president of black people, but yet they will then say, that's my president. Like, the cognitive dissonance, it just drives me crazy. The fact that 8 years later, you never even looked into stances or anything, and everything that you say about this guy is draped in emotionalism and not in any real fact. So when someone says anything, you take it as a personal attack and you react out of emotionalism rather than having an intellectual, productive discourse. So do I think that he failed the black community? From my perspective, no, because I never expected anything based on past research and past actions and things of that nature, which is what you're supposed to look at when you're deciding who you're going to vote for or support, if you even still believe in the whole electoral political system. You could at least educate yourself on that note. So in that perspective, no, I would say. If you went into it with expectations rather than looking at the facts, and I'm just speaking of anyone, then you will probably get disappointed. Don't just, when it comes to these things, and I'm going to end on this because this video was a lot longer than I intended to be. Don't get caught up in these pretty words, these well constructed speeches that aren't even written for them, that professionals are writing for them. Think about what I said earlier. Follow the money, look who's around them, and look what they've done in the past. Because I'll say this, if you're talking about change, and that's your platform, but you're financed by the same people who financed the past few administrations, and you're bringing in retreads from these past few administrations, some of which that have been around, sniffing around Washington in seats of power since the 60s and the 70s. How could that be different? If I'll bring it back to the sports world and I'll close. If you were replacing a coach and you were saying we're going to overhaul the offense and all of these things, but you bring in, you bring on the same coaches who ran the previous system, you keep recruiting the same type of players, well then how's the system, then you're not really changing the system. You're just putting a new face in the program. It's what politics is, and I think we really need to understand that as we move into this election season. And I hope that whether you're looking at gosh, I don't even like to do this because I know it's front. But anyway, whether you're looking at Hillary or Bernie Sanders or whoever, Donald Trump or whoever, just take the emotions out, look at it critically, look at it clinically, and allow that to make your decision, and don't do it emotional. But this video has ran far longer than I intended, so I do apologize for that. Maybe I'll break it up into 2 parts. But this is The Truth Will Rise. I'm signing out. Thanking everyone for watching. Good night. Peace.